Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Middle School Building Committee meeting of May 12th. We're located at the Savage Center, and this meeting is being recorded by NCM. So, first thing I'd like to do is see if there are any public comments. Anybody here from the public? Don't see anyone. Is there anyone from the public online?
There is not.
Okay. I consider public comment to be closed. I have a lot to do today. I want to move around a little bit with the agenda. Why don't we start first with budget update? Since we have a full quorum now, why don't we go directly to, as I said, directly to votes. So, first motion would be to approve the minutes of the April 14th meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Made and seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, let's take a roll call vote. Paul Riccardi?
Yes.
Jason Adams? Let me skip Jason for a second while we work out some glitches. Timothy Luff?
Yes.
Tony Mizuko? He's online. We'll work that glitch out. Diane Ferreira?
Yes.
Margot Frezek?
Yes.
And Chairman votes yes.
I vote yes.
And Bob Donnelly also. Duh, never mind. Bob Donnelly votes yes.
I think they're trying to say something.
Thank you.
Looks like Tony's unmuted. Do we want to test his audio?
Tony, can you hear us? Oh, looks like he's talking.
No, it is a speaker.
He's on the right speaker.
Try that. That's second speaker.
Can you hear us?
Do the middle one.
Yeah.
Tech audio. Tony, can you hear us?
Now he's on my computer.
We did lose the connection.
Can you hear us now?
He's probably saying, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it. He's on my computer.
Can you just blast your computer?
It's about as loud as it gets.
Just checking in with Joe, see if we can help us.
What was the,
Oh. Should be on the right.
On the left there, and so you press test speaker on each one.
You have no idea how this stuff works.
it shows that the talk is beyond me already. And the speaker's picking up them talking, which you can't hear.
All right, sounds good. Okay, now we can hear them.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah?
Yes, thank you. All right, so just to finish up the voting on the minutes, Tony Mizuko,
Aye.
Jason Adams,
Aye.
thank you. That's unanimous. All right, next item on the agenda are the invoices for April 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll walk you through the invoices. Lines 1 and 2 are for Vertex's monthly OPM services, including Professional Service Industries, PSI, for their on-site QA/QC testing, totaling $92,410.20. Lines numbers 3 and 4 are for AI3's monthly architectural services, for AI3 including their engineers, totaling $73,215.86. Lines 5 through 13 are FF&E related invoices. Lines 5 through 10, or sorry, first item is line 5 from 1093 Incorporated for a custom display case for the historical clock mechanism, totaling $6,060. Line number 6 is for Allcom for installation of the DAS system, the distributed antenna system, at the Coakley building only. Cost totaling $45,942.96. Lines 7 through 11 are for CDW for a handful of things, including vape sensor back boxes and a camera license upgrade fees totaling $17,808. Line 12 is for Cybercom for the purchase of new radios for the facilities team, totaling $22,165. Line number 13 from Electric Time Company is for the restoration of the historic clock, totaling $3,485. And lines 14 and 15 are for W.T. Rich's application for payment number 23, inclusive of change orders totaling $2,671,227.47, for a grand total in April of $3,032,256.62.
Okay, thank you. Discussion from anyone?
Mr. Chairman, the radios are for the Coakley Middle School staff.
Okay.
Not facilities.
Okay.
My apologies, sorry about
No,
that.
that's okay. I just wanted
Okay,
to-
good, thank you. Thanks for the clarification. Okay, good. Seeing none, seeing no other comments, pleasure of the committee?
I'll make a motion to approve the invoice package, the vendor invoice package as presented.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Seeing no further discussion, let's take a voice vote. Paul Riccardi,
Yes.
Jason Adams,
Aye.
Bob Donnelly,
Yes?
Tim Luff,
Yes.
Tony Mizuko,
Yes.
Diane Ferreira,
Yes.
Margot Frizek,
Yes.
and chairman votes yes, unanimous. Thank you. Okay, good. Next item on the agenda is FF&E and technology.
So just real quick update, everything's still on budget. For the furniture, 95% of the budget has been committed. And for technology, 66% of the budget has been committed. And just for transition, the library move is scheduled for next Tuesday. And then the building move is scheduled to start on 6/19. We do have a couple items to approve off the wish list for this month. So the first one is a new grand piano for up to $25,000. An additional standing desks to be dispersed throughout the classrooms, kiln shelves, which are essential for the kiln to actually operate and the teachers to use them, and then wrestling mats. So the total for all of these items is $45,511.
Okay, thank you. Comments from anyone?
Clarification on the motion request versus the wish list.
Okay.
The number seems to be 45,511 and the requested, but the motion request is 45,111. Just wondering what it
Oh,
was.
sorry, that's a typo.
Okay. So that's 511?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Seeing no comments, again, pleasure of the committee.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of a new grand piano, kiln shelving, additional standing desk, and new wrestling mats for a total of $45,511.
Question, Mr. Chairman?
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is seconded. Paul?
Are there in the gym, are there the roll-ups for the mats to get them off the floors when they're not being used?
The carts?
The cart, yeah.
No, but I was actually looking at that earlier. We can add that for, like, I think he said it was like $250, so it's probably worth doing that.
Yeah, you gotta-
I know that was lower on the list, but it's not a lot of money, so
Right.
we can move forward.
Would we
with that.
like to add that amount now to the motion? Do we feel comfortable with that number?
Just get a real number. Is that a real number?
Yeah, yeah. Yep. So we can amend it to, let's see, 45,000.
761.
What did I say, 250?
Is that 45,761?
Yes.
Is a revised motion okay with the person who made it and the
I will
second?
make a motion to revise the number to $45,761.
Second.
And motion made and seconded. So that's with the mats as requested by Mr. Riccardi. Thank you. Let's take a vote on that. Paul Riccardi,
Yes.
Jason Adams,
Aye.
Bob Donnelly,
Yes.
Tim Luff,
Yes.
Tony Mizuko,
Yes.
Diane Ferrera,
Yep.
Margot Frezek,
Yes.
and Chairman votes yes. Thank you. Okay, technology.
So for technology, we have a few recommendations. CDWG for the Google backup drive for $21,600, which was under budget. Again, CDWG for the network backup appliance, which again was under budget. HIQ for the PLTW tablets, and again, this was under budget. And then we're also requesting some Chromebook cases, totaling $6,267, and that is, it wasn't originally on the budget, but Joe recommends purchasing those to,
Okay, thank you.
for the Chromebook. So the total request for technology is $111,207.20.
Good. Okay. Questions, comments? Seeing none, could we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase orders for CDWG, HIQ, and Bumper Armor as noted above, totaling $100,207.20.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Again, further discussion? Seeing none. Again, a roll call vote. Paul Riccardi,
Yes.
Jason Adams,
Aye.
Bob Donnelly,
Yes.
Tim Luff,
Yes.
Tony Mizuko,
Yes.
Diane Ferrera,
Yes.
Margot Frezek,
Yes.
and Chairman votes yes. Again, unanimous. Good, thank you. Okay. Change orders.
Alrighty, two PCOs included in change order number 20 this evening. First one, 8130 for PR 63, which added some details for the exhausting of the dryers at 3 locations, 1 in the custodial area, and then 3 in the classrooms on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors. This is cost for the ductwork to vent those, as well as the labor to install that. This was just a miss on the documents, as venting was not included. Cost for that labor and materials, $11,045. And the second one, 8135 for RFI 379. This added some walkway paths and some high-vis tape to the roof for the access paths to the mechanical units. There's a I think it was about 21 additional sections of railing that needed to be added up on the roof. So that is the cost there at $12,401 for a total in change order number 20 of $23,446.
Okay, on the maintenance access for the roof, is that primarily a safety issue?
Yeah, safety, yes.
Okay. Okay. Questions? Seeing none, can we motion?
A motion to approve WT Rich change order number 20 in the amount of $23,446.
Second.
Made and seconded. Discussion? Again, seeing none. Let's take a roll call. Paul Riccardi?
Yes.
Jason Adams?
Aye.
Bob Donnelly?
Yes.
Tim Luff?
Yes.
Tony Mizuko?
Yes.
Diane Ferrera?
Yes.
Margot Frezek?
Yes.
And chairman votes yes, unanimous. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next item is the proposal for design amendment for roof screens.
Sure, so last month, the last meeting, we presented AI3's additional service proposal to design screening of the mechanical units on the roof in the total of $38,368. The committee asked us to go back to AI3 and get a breakdown of hours, go to the next slide, per discipline for architectural, mechanical, and structural. So we have a breakdown here. This is AI3's breakdown by phase: design development, construction documents, and then construction administration. In total, they had 70 hours for design development, 104 hours for construction administration, and 104 hours for construction documents, and 80 hours for construction administration, for a total of $29,600. And this scope would be to determine the most suitable location for the roof screens, develop those architecturals, prepare architectural drawings, as well as reviewing RFI submittals, and then the oversight of this work in the field as it's built. The next slide is a breakdown of EDG. They're the structural engineer. They included 174 hours for construction documents and 58 hours for construction administration. Again, this would probably be the heavier lift for the structural engineer, as they would, analyze and design the structure. Then they also included oversight during construction, reviewing shop drawings, submittals, as well as on-site site visits. And then G&V, the mechanical engineer, included a total of $38,800, which was 243 hours of labor. And this is included just as, as a worst-case scenario. The intent is for the steel. The intent of this design will be for the steel to not impact the already installed mechanicals, but in the case that it could not avoid that, then this is where G&V Mechanical and/or electrical fire protection, those engineers would come in to help develop a solution to relocate that unit, or piping or ductwork or whatever it may be.
So it's possible that this may not be needed when everything's said and done.
Correct.
But it's a contingency, just so there's sufficient funds available in case it is necessary.
Very possible, very
Yeah.
likely,
Okay.
yes. And then we just included a summary here. So the total, including all the services all three disciplines have provided, is $38,368. We backed out the construction administration portion for each discipline to get a total on the right for design documents only, if the town wanted the team to just hand over a set of documents for the town to price at a later date, or do what they wanted to with that at the time. And that was a total of $86,400 for design
Okay.
only.
All right, very good, thank you. Comments and questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Tony?
thank you. I appreciate the work the team's done in breaking this down. Candidly, I still think it's too expensive of a proposition to go forward with at this time. I mean, you're looking at $100,000 for design and over $1 million for construction. I just don't think we should do it. I think what I'd like to do is move for indefinite postponement. When the project's done, if we want to bring it up again, we'll have the option then, but I don't see any value in continuing to investigate this, look at it, or spend any more time on it. So,
Okay, thank
I
you.
have to put that in the form of a motion to postpone indefinitely.
I'll second.
Motion made, seconded. Any further discussion on this? I mean, speaking as chairman, I happen to agree with Mr. Mizuko. I think is something that, if we want to look at a later date, we can, but not sure whether it's something which is worth going forward with at this point. So, again, any further discussion on this? Seeing none. Again, we have a motion not to proceed with this at this time, so let me go with a roll call vote. Paul Riccardi?
Yes.
Again, yes means not to proceed, so, okay. Jason Adams?
Aye.
Bob Donnelly?
Yes.
Tim Luff?
Yes.
Tony Mizuko?
Yes.
Diane Ferreira?
Yes.
Margot Fresek?
Yes.
Chairman votes yes, so it's unanimous. We will not at this point proceed with design of any roof screen. So, again, thank you to AI3 for the work they put into the presentation, but again, we voted not to proceed, but thank you. All right, why don't we get back to the presentation and go to a budget update.
Sure, it's a typical budget update, inclusive, that is, it was included in the VIP package that went out to the group. At this time, the project continues to trend under budget through the end of April. Of the $147.9 million budget, $137,000 had been, or $137 million had been committed to contracts, with just under $112 million has been paid out to date, tracking $10.8 million in unspent at this time. For the MSBA update, reimbursement request number 40 has been processed by the MSBA. Number 41 and 42 for April and May have been submitted and are pending from the MSBA. And of the $110.9 million in submitted costs, 70 has been deemed eligible, just over 70 million, so it's about 65% of the submitted cost eligible at this time.
Okay. Again, thank you. I think it's great. We're trending so far in the budget this deep into the project. So again, thank you to our project team for that. That's great news.
Just continuing with our project update, some progress photos. This is an aerial view of the north elevation taken at the end of April. You can see the facade is complete, and we're starting to see the roadway being installed along this side of the building. Along the south elevation, same thing, we can start to see the roadway take form, and then we'll outline that green space. All that dirt eventually will be green space in front of the building there. Next slide, some just detailed shots. So on the left here, we can see the parking lot between the gym and the tennis courts with the new guardrail installed. On the right-hand side, we can see a concrete placement of some sidewalk outside of the future main entrance. On the left, the 5th and 6th grade student commons down at the first floor, just inside the main entrance. The flooring was installed in the last couple weeks. And on the right-hand side, the auditorium, tough to see here, but some wood trim was installed along the second level in the back, along the stairs, and that half wall, and carpet was also installed to complete this space in the last couple weeks. For activity this month, continuing activity on site, the ceiling tiles were completed along the first floor. Final plumbing inspections were received on 4, 3, and 2. Air balancing has been completed. Commissioning is ongoing. The elevator installation was complete. Cars have been tested and are ready for the state inspection. Should be coming up shortly. The auditorium theatrical lighting and the stage curtain was installed. The landscaper mobilized to the site to begin prepping the planting beds with loam and installing some of the trees. And roofing was completed at the concession stand. The exterior CMU block is being installed as we speak. For work that's continuing on site, interior doors arrived for the first floor and are being installed. Technology items like touch screens, wireless access points, network switches are being installed throughout. Commissioning of the mechanical equipment is ongoing. Programming of the building systems, lighting controls, building management, fire alarm, M&S, mass notification system, are ongoing. The final cleaning team mobilized and began final cleaning of the entire floor on the fourth floor beginning today. Furniture deliveries are expected to arrive and start next week. And final plumbing, electrical, and building department inspections are ongoing. And testing of the emergency systems of fire alarm have been scheduled with the fire department for the 19th. And we're still trending well for substantial completion of phase 1 in the first week of June.
Cool, thank you. Again, we're still on line for furniture deliveries next week?
Yes, Monday the 19th.
Good, okay.
Schedule update, just kind of tracking some of the big items. So again, as I just mentioned, the wireless access points and switches in the MDFs and IDFs began to be installed in April. The installation of the fire alarm system is complete. We're testing that with Norwood Fire again on May 19th, May 20th. WT Rich has confirmed we're taking the we've confirmed with the school on the moving dates to have the existing staff out of the existing school June 23rd, and then WT Rich will take ownership of that building to begin setting up for abatement. And we have scheduled some student tours towards the end of August with teachers back at school, in the new school on August 26th.
Just highlighting some of the meetings, some of the important meetings that we had. So last month, we did a site walk with the FF&E vendors ahead of them delivering furniture next week. We met with the IDS who we signed up last month to do the building monitoring. We met with them and the BMS contractor just for coordination. And the facilities team, specifically the custodians, walked through the building during school vacation week last month. And then this month, we met with the science teachers to discuss moving all of their equipment. And we met with the Board of Health to do a pre-inspection walk, make sure that they're happy with everything we've done to date, make sure there's no surprises. And next Tuesday, the movers are coming to help pack the library and move all of the library into the new building.
Okay, thank you.
Quick transition update. So like I said, furniture is starting to be delivered on Monday. The library move is happening next week. We have a pre-installation meeting with the server vendors. So they're going to start installing the servers in the new IDF and MDF rooms. And then we also have a teacher training scheduled for this coming Friday for the half day. It's going to be a get to know your classroom. And we're also going to meet with them and discuss moving, kind of a Q&A, see if they have any questions. And that's kind of what we've got going on there.
This is just continuing our change order discussion, high-level summary of where we're at. Right now, we're tracking just over 1.4 million in change orders, which is just under 1.5% of the total project budget. The values approved in change order 20 are tracked in the blue off to the left, and everything else is updated through change order 19 and the end of April.
Okay. All right, Endine walking path.
Sure. So this has been a topic we've been discussing for a few months. So Vertex and the design team met with Gary Pelletier and Mark Ryan maybe 2 weeks ago to review a couple different options, which resulted in the design team developing these 3 options we see here to achieve reinstalling the walking path. They've looked at it from a few different angles. In this one we're seeing on the screen here, the walking path is highlighted in yellow, and any retaining wall is in red right next to the walking path. This shows the walking path up at the road elevation adjacent to the school, and then about halfway down the building, using the slope, the existing slope, to transition down to the field level, and then the walking path continues along the field, connects to the existing path over by the concession stand, and continues. Option 2 is very similar to option 1. It just shifts, it eliminates the retaining wall for half of the run closest to the concession stand, and that half, and just uses the existing slope. The appealing side to this option is it doesn't move the existing sports lighting, which may be affected in option 1. that light right there. It does add a guardrail along the road, and then again, the walking path, halfway at the road level and half down at the field level. These options would require some modifications to the existing fields. As you can see on the top of the screen where the yellow highlight is, shifting the field to accommodate the walking path as shown here would result in shifting the walking path on the opposite side of the field, and it may have an effect on some of the benching and workout equipment that is installed on that side of the field. The third option, which has been reviewed previously, it was not the most desirable, but it's back on this presentation after reviewing with the other group, just as another option to reconnect the walking path to the existing path behind the softball field, and then utilize the new sidewalk installed against the new building, and then transition down to the existing walking path at the concession stand again. So this would be the least impactful option as far as schedule and cost are concerned. But again, we're reviewing all options again with Mark and Gary next week. And then the intent of that would be hone in on one option, develop that to construction documents, and then get W.T. Rich and their subcontractors to price that, and then ultimately bring a price to this group for decision.
Okay. A couple of questions. Number one, schedule.
Yes.
How would the schedule be impacted?
As far as occupancy, none. In talks with the group, it would be to leave the condition as is for now. Maybe some Jersey barriers get installed along that roadway as a temporary guardrail to get through the summer, and then this work would likely begin some point over the summer into the fall, depending on logistics and how it impacts the football field, and if that can happen during the season or if it has to push until after the playing seasons.
Okay. Because I know just speaking for myself, I mean, I'd have a couple issues. Number one, with an option that would involve altering the fields.
Okay.
Again, this is just speaking for myself, as well as if you move the light a sufficient distance so that it impacted the overall lighting plan for the fields, which potentially could mean moving some of the other lights.
Right.
I think, that's a concern also.
Yeah. Yeah, the lighting designer came back and said if that light moves more than 10 feet, then we would have to do a redesign, or at least a review of the entire field, so that is one of the options on the table.
I mean, I know I'd have a concern if we had to make modifications to the remaining light fixtures, on that field. I'm just looking at, cost and time associated with that. So you're going to be meeting, I guess you said within a week
Yeah, we have
with
a
Mark
meeting
and
on the
Gary?
books next week, yes.
Okay, so hopefully at that time there'll be a decision.
Yes.
Okay.
And we can update the group at the June meeting on what that decision was. We likely
Okay.
will not have pricing at the June meeting, but we can bring that
Okay.
the following.
Good. All right, any questions, comments?
So who is making that decision?
I mean, ultimately, it's here. I think we're going to get an opinion from Mark Ryan and from Gary Pelletier, but ultimately, we make the decision, and they may come up with something unlikely, but they may come up with something which we'd just say, absolutely not. I mean, I think I indicated, up front a couple of concerns I have, with this. I'm sure other people probably share some of the same concerns also. So, again, you can translate that.
Sure,
You
absolutely.
can transmit that to Gary and to Mark when you meet with them. So,
Absolutely.
Quick question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah,
Would
Tim.
If you do this in September, will this impact the vehicular traffic going around the building? You working on that?
Yeah, that's everything we have to look at. It's either going to impact the vehicle traffic or the playing down on the field. So that's something we've been kicking around internally to try and figure that out, what timing makes sense.
Bob?
So I know we'll hear more from Gary and Mark, but what are the pros and cons? Well, what's the advantage of a wall? We have an option that has no wall. What does the wall get us?
The wall just allows us to eliminate the slope. So they could eliminate the slope because there's a little bit more room down at the field side. Again, so the intent would be to install the wall as close to the road as possible, then eliminate the slope and bring the walking path tight to the road, to allow for as much, they typically carry a 10-foot runoff of soft surface from the edge of the sideline before you want the walkway or the vertical surface, which would be the retaining wall. So we're trying to maintain that, which would, again, result in the shift.
Thanks.
Would that minimize the shifting in the field?
This option?
Yeah.
I think the next option, option 2 minimizes the shift without the retaining wall.
Could you point out, by the way, the light pole that, is in question?
Sure. In option 1, this light pole is in conflict with the retaining wall, so it would one of the potentials is it would shift to that far corner, right over by the concession stand.
Yeah, which again could have other implications down the road if we do that.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, gymnasium floor, we had a little issue there.
Sure. So in early April, we had a little issue where the flooring subcontractor was coring those holes you can see in the top left-hand corner for the volleyball sleeves. While they were coring those holes, they used a wet core, which water from that infected the floor in the adjacent area. So as you can see in the picture below, that about 20 by 20 square area of floor was removed. They removed all the wet floor using moisture testing and stopped when they got to a piece of floor that had showed the readings that we would expect to see elsewhere. Again, the entire area has been removed, dried out, all the way down to the concrete slab. The installation contractor has proposed a fix that is under review. They've also offered to extend their warranty on the floor by a year. The town has since hired a local flooring contractor to give an analysis and a recommendation to the town on how they how they would proceed. And that report was received by the project team last week and is under review by the flooring subcontractor. I don't know if Bethany, you want to talk anymore, but
No, that's accurate. Yeah, we got the letter on Thursday. It's been shared with FJ Roberts, who's the installer, for their feedback. Verbally, they have acknowledged there's like some subfloor full panel suggestions that they agreed to verbally. We're waiting for an official response from them on that letter, and then we'll share that with the team and decide what that fix will look like. But right now, we're just analyzing that.
yep.
Okay, and we're also waiting an opinion from AI3, based on the recommendation of our expert.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I've reviewed it, I'll get you the response. I just had one question about the extent, and I might give Michael Connors a quick call.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, because we have washer rows, which are expansion joints
Yeah.
every so often. I'm just wondering, maybe we can just take it to one of the washer rows and
Yeah.
still achieve what he's talking about.
Yeah, because his recommendation is you don't stop where they are, but go sideline to sideline.
Right.
He actually recommends going almost full wall to wall, so not stopping just
Well,
at the sidelines.
yeah, right, yeah.
So, so we're
Yeah, all the way across.
all the way,
Yeah.
to
Yeah, and I think what we've made clear at our Thursday meetings is that when everything is said and done, the intent is to have an as-new floor.
correct. I think everyone agrees on that for sure.
Yes.
I mean, that's a given. Okay?
And I think the flooring contractor, as well as WT Rich, should be looking at something a little more than an extra year warranty.
And we have,
There's some
yeah.
bonding to protect the town's interest on this floor going out some years.
And we have started that verbal conversation.
okay.
If we could do more than a year, what does that look like? So that is part of the analysis they're doing with that letter.
Yeah. Okay, because I think, again, I mean, we'll talk about it, but I think we'd certainly want an extended period, substantially more than 1 year. Why, wouldn't you agree, Paul?
Yeah, and I think there should be a bond put against that floor.
Yeah. Okay.
All the people are gone.
Yeah.
We've got some.
Just to protect that. Right.
Right.
Again, I mean, the intent is to give a floor which is a new floor, but, you want to make sure you have the protection in case something happens. Good, okay.
One question.
Bob?
Just in terms of process, just when a contractor comes in and is doing this kind of work, do they preview the work with the team? As I understand, he or she introduces water. Was that part of a process that was approved for the work?
I can speak to that. So we do pre-installation meetings before any subcontractor comes on board as part of our quality control. We did know these volleyball sleeves would have to get cored in. That was part of the plan. We had suggested coring them in a little earlier. The flooring subcontractor requested to do it later. They're the expert. We tried to defer to them. The root cause of the issue with this is they used a wet core. It was actually not the flooring company that did it. They hired a different company to do it, and they used a wet core. That exact wet core application was not run by our team that morning, and that's what caused this issue. So we immediately put them on notice that they made a mistake. They owned up to it right away, but that was the root of the issue. So yeah, ideally, Bob, they do, but this one didn't get caught before it happened.
Okay.
It did for the future one.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. I mean, the intent clearly is for this work to be done, so we have, a completely new floor in time for the opening of the building and the beginning of the school year, end of August, beginning of September.
Definitely.
That is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Anything further on this issue? Previously discussed topics, update.
Sure,
Anything?
just a note here on the ribbon cutting ceremony. I don't think we had a date confirmed at the last meeting, but it has been set for Monday, August 25th at 1 p.m. A program and agenda will be distributed. And then just an update on the outdoor classroom play area. If we go to the next slide, we have just a rendering of something we reviewed with our transition group. And this has been the concept that is going to move forward. Just a quick overview. The two circle-shaped patios are already owned. Those are right outside of the 5th and 6th grade student commons. The add in this change will be there's some shade fabric being installed over one of the circles for some shade with some tables out there for some outdoor learning. The circle to the left of that has some semicircle seating as an amphitheater style with some raised planting beds behind it. And then as you head to the south, the added asphalt area will include a half-court basketball, some foursquare, hopscotch, and some painted games like that on the asphalt. And then some plantings around the outside, which some are owned in the existing landscaping and some will be added here. And then the design team is furthering this concept to construction documents, which WT Rich will be pricing, and then again, price will come to this group for an ultimate decision.
Again, looking at schedule, what's the impact? I assume this isn't going to be ready for the opening of the new building.
Correct. The intent is to begin the work at some point in the summer, once we go through the approvals and pricing, but likely will not be done for September. Will continue into September.
Okay. All right, okay. Anything else? Anything anyone would like to bring up? Hearing none, take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you very much. And sorry for the snafu.